Hey there guys, Next Gen Striker here, back again for another video. And this is a topic that I have had an interest in and wanted to talk about for quite some time. I guess it's just where I've been really busy lately. I haven't really had time to do that. But basically the topic of this actually came from a recent new subscription of mine, AMC Theatres, where they do their mailbag and they talk about all the things that their fans ask them and just movie stuff in general. And it seems like recently a lot of the questions have been relating to, well, at least a popular topic has been, why aren't there gay leads or gay characters in superhero / action movies, comic books, whatever, those kind of films in Hollywood? And it is an interesting topic, and there is a lot behind it. So I want to just give my thoughts on it, and let's try and I know this is a stretch, but let's try and be respectful and open-minded in the comments if we can, because this is a touchy subject, and I know a lot of people are going to get very emotional, and I know that some people, as dumb as this sounds, will probably even call me homophobic for even talking about this, because I have briefly talked about that was something. I think it was in one of my video comments, and they're like, "Oh, you're a homophobe." It came out of nowhere, so whatever. Just, don't take anything out of context, and let's just talk. So, anyway, yeah, this is basically a discussion of the sexuality of characters in comic book / superhero / action movies. Well, basically superhero and comic book are the same thing, but superhero and action films. So, naturally it's obvious why they haven't been in them yet, is because it is a rather controversial topic, but eventually it will happen. The thing is, though, is that there's just a lot going behind this. First off, you have to understand is that there is a lot of money behind this. It's about the studios making money, and movies and things in general are relating to the audience. And while there is a big gay community in America, and well, I'm not really going to speak for other countries because I haven't looked at the stats or whatever. I think at one point I have looked at stats, but basically there is a gay community here. Since we are focusing on the States, there's gays everywhere, but there's a big gay community in the States, but that's still not nearly as big as the straight community, and it never will be, because I doubt that it will, because if it does take over, then we might have a population problem, but that's another thing. Anyway, so yeah, there's that going against it, where it's trying to appeal to the majority, and there's there are films that come out that don't do that, and they end up being cult classics, or they end up being huge hits or whatever. But most films like to play it safe, and of course the writers are probably mostly straight, so there's that too, So yeah, there's that going against it, and then another thing you have to realize is that most comic book characters that we've had in films on. Now let's think about all the people we've had films on. We've had them about Batman, Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man, the Avengers, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and let's see, Blade, Spawn. I mean, there's a lot, and there's still more coming out. So that's just quite a handful right there, but there's still more, and there will be more as we go on. But as you'll notice, with most of those heroes, they're all straight. And yeah, I mean, there's that too. People want a gay superhero lead, but all the characters in those mythos are straight. So you got that problem as well, because the source material, that's just the way the characters were made and written. Now, some people might ask, well, why can't we play around with the sexuality of the characters? And I know that Andrew Garfield, who is currently Spider-Man in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, said that, oh, it would be fun to change up the sexuality of Spider-Man and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go and quote him, but that's basically the gist of it. And I am one who will argue that we should never do that. And here's why. The sexuality of a person is not something that is just a little whimsical thing that you can just toss around. Because the sexuality of a person defines them in some way or form. Not completely, but it is a big part of them. It defines your interests, and well, there's just a lot that goes into it. I'm not really going to have a huge talk on this because I don't really think that it's necessary. But the sexuality of a character is big. It's really big. And there's also the fact that we got to respect the source material. Like when Bob Kane made Batman in 1939, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. He didn't imagine, oh, Batman's going to be gay. You gotta respect the source material and the creator's wishes with the character. And if we went and we changed the sexuality of a character that established, or just any character in general, it would be a big deal, because to me it would be kind of disrespectful. Not to say that being gay is like this horrible thing or whatever, but it's just like a really big thing. I mean, those characters will be changed radically. Now, if they just went and said, oh, Batman's gay, and he's the exact same in the movie, well, then that's just pointless anyway. And it just wouldn't make sense because, look at Batman's character. He always has these women on his side, and that's kind of his cover, like, oh, I'm a playboy, but I'm really not. Usually that sexuality does actually play out to be quite important with most characters. And it's not just that with Batman. There's also the Catwoman thing. There's Poison Ivy. There's Harley Quinn. There's a bunch of characters that play on that sexuality sort of concept. And, then there'd be the whole, well, is Batman a pedo for having all of these Robins if he was indeed gay? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. And that's just Batman. There's a lot of characters that are like that, where the sexuality is important. Now, I don't think we're ever going to see a day when they make a gay Batman movie or a gay Iron Man movie or whatever, but I guess it is possible. So I just figured I would go ahead and give my little thoughts on that. So let's not change the sexuality of the characters, please. Now, the way to do that is to simply make a gay superhero. And there are gay superheroes. If you've read comics, there's quite a few of them now. So yeah, you got that going for you. But the main problem with that is that there's really not any big popular ones. There's only like one I can think of off the top of my head. That's Batwoman, and really she's not that popular. So, it would be really hard to make a movie about someone, Batwoman. People will be like, who's that? I don't get that. Whatever. So they need to establish some popular gay characters in comic books first, before they can go into actually making them into a film. And that's the proper way to do it, because there's no point in just going and switching up the sexuality of a character. I've already said that. And it would just be, it would be like a big thing. Like, a lot of people would be upset about that, and it would be unnecessary. So you just make a gay superhero, and there will be more, and some of them that exist now will be more popular, more developed over time. It's just a time thing. You just gotta wait for that to happen. You can't just rush it out, because then it'll be dumb. If you just change sexuality, it'll be pointless, and yeah, it'll just be to cater. You really want like a truly gay developed person who has those problems or has all that stuff going behind them to be in the movie. Otherwise, it's pointless. So you gotta wait for that to happen. That's what I say about that. So yeah, it's more or less just a waiting game. Now, personally, if they wanted to not go that route, and perhaps not use a big main character and shoehorn some, well, maybe not shoehorn, that's kind of a bad word, but place a gay character into a film like X-Men or Avengers or Justice League when they get a more expanded cast, I think that would be fine, so long as, it's a actual gay character and they don't just like, oh, here's said X-Man, let's make him gay for no reason. That'd be dumb. Just don't do that. Please do not cop out like that. That would just be stupid, and no one would like that. Nobody would like that. So just don't do that. Wait till you have a really good gay character, then make a movie. And that's not to say I could relate to a gay person. I mean, it depends on the way they take it, but it would be harder for me, but still, I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea. You just You just gotta wait until there's a lot more popular gay characters that we can relate to and like, and that are popular. And like I said, they could go the X-Men route, and they could have like a gay side character, maybe a gay main character. It would just be interesting to see how they would do that. And then they could also do a Static Shock movie. That would be interesting, because if you guys watch the cartoon, you probably didn't know this, but Richie was gay. So they could do that, and if they did that, that would be perfect. Now see, if you guys understand, that's how you do it right. Now if they made a Static Shock movie and made Richie straight, well, now you see the problem, because then you would have backlash about misrepresenting the character and all this. So that's kind of the argument goes back. Now you see what I'm sort of saying if you were kind of disagreeing with what I was having to say. So, yeah, and then I guess the other thing, mainly this has just been about comic book movies, I apologize. But when you're talking about an action movie where you have a gay lead, that would be, it depends on how they take it. If they're going like a Sylvester Stallone or an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie route where it's like a super ripped macho man, I don't think that would work, because gay and macho kind of got clashing ideals there. So if they didn't do it that way and it was just an action movie and it had a gay lead, maybe they could do it that way. I mean, with action movies you can make whoever you want, so it's really up to the writers. But as long as they're not going like an extreme macho biker guy from Texas who, whatever. As long as they don't do that, I think that would work fine. So it really just depends. Now, I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on this, and please thumb this up, because that would be nice, and it's a relevant topic. I think it's interesting. So yeah, let's just hear you guys' thoughts on this, and comment below, share, whatever, retweet it. That'd be cool. And that's all I had for now. Catch you guys later.